This is Smita Kruzekar. On behalf of Spurthi, we invite you to the first event for fiscal 22. Like each year, this year too, our goal is to inspire people of all ages for an active, healthy, and fulfilling lifestyle. This year, we're planning to have a pattern. Basically, every first Saturday of every month, we will have come up with various activities on topics like health, meditation, yoga, finance. So let's kick off today's event with diet as a lifestyle, diet and lifestyle as a medicine. We have our speaker today, Rashid Patel. By profession, he is in the motor hotel business, but his passion for healthy living motivated him to read a lot on this topic, and he was able to take control of his health and chronic conditions. I would hand it over to Rashid from here to start off with this session of Spurthi and kick it off.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep, Rashid. Yep.
Such a wonderful and honor to be a part of the Spurthi group here in the Quad Cities. I'm new to this group. I heard about that, through my wife. She was a member of the Spurthi group since long time, but the health wasn't priority for me, so I just didn't involve too much. But I guess now anything on the platform of Spurthi you talk about, any good healthy habits, it's been encouraged and promoted. So thanks to Jayshree, the founder of this Spurthi group, and the whole entire committee. Let's start with the disclaimer first. Today's I'm not a medical doctor, any medical professional, and today's event is not to advise anyone to make any changes in the lifestyle. It's just entertainment purpose only. And if you really want to make changes on your lifestyle, you really need to talk to your healthcare provider or doctor first. If you follow the instructions here, and if you're on the medications, most probably your need for medications will decrease drastically. So make sure you talk to your provider before you make any changes in the lifestyle and diet. When I was a kid, when I was about 18, I saw my grandmother at the age of 62 passed away because of the heart attack. I just finished my 12th exam and I was on vacation. I went to live with my grandmother in her village in India, and we were having fun. We're talking and all this, and everybody slept at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And in the middle of the night, at about 1 o'clock, she started screaming very, very loudly. And me and my uncle and everybody got together, and we don't know what's going on. And she was screaming so much and pointing at her chest. So we figured something is going on. So we carried her and put her in our car and took her to the hospital. But on the way, he just kept screaming, and somewhere in the middle of the road, she stopped breathing and she stopped responding. And at that time we knew that something is terrible happened. So when we reached to the hospital, doctor pronounced him dead right there, then and there, and it was a severe heart attack. My another grandmother, my mother's mother, was diagnosed had a breast cancer, and also she was in and out of the hospital throughout her life due to several health conditions, mainly those chronic conditions like diabetic and heart disease and all those things. Finally, she died too at the age of 68. My father passed away at 62 because of this chronic conditions like severe diabetes and high blood pressure and all those things. And also he had one episode of angioplasty at the age of 49, and mainly because of his heart condition, he passed away at 62 too. So this is in my gene, and also in my family. So mostly, this carried on. You carried on, carry on all those kind of things from your and ancestor. At least that's what being told by the healthcare provider, which in some way they're true. They're true. And in my late 30s, I was also diagnosed with pre-diabetes, hypertension, and high cholesterol. It wasn't that bad. It was just beginning though, but it was there. And one day I decided, I'm like, if I'm almost 40 now, and if I don't do anything, I only have like 20 years to live on this planet Earth. uh, I got so when you, it's like my dad died, passed away at 62. I'm saying I'm started developing the same conditions that he has developed, and if I don't do anything, I may end up earlier, at maybe in my 50s or 40s, who knows, you know. So I got serious. I'm like, I have to do something, do or die. I was in do or die situation. So I'm like, what do you do? How do you? I don't want to take bunch of medications. What my ancestors has taken, my dad and my grandmother and everybody has taken. So, and I don't know what to do. So I'm like, let's take charge of this situation. Let's launch a study. Self educate yourself and see if we can figure out, and we can see if we can. I can at least crack this code of so-called health. So I started studying, ordered some books and went to library and started reading some literature and research and stuff on this, especially the chronic conditions like hypertension and all those things. So I started that journey, and I found on the heart disease is the number one killer disease of the world. Every year, at least in United States, about 750,000 people die everywhere, every year due to the heart disease. In 2020, heart disease took more lives than COVID. We heard so much about COVID, but we don't hear that much about the heart disease. And this is happening every year. Every year about more than 700,000 people die because of the heart attack. Situation in India is even worse. India is called epidemic of diabetes. So nothing much difference between living in India and here in United States. So my goal was at least for me, to defeat this number one killer, which is heart disease. So I'm on the quest to defeat this number one killer. That's why I started digging into the research and started reading some books. And interestingly, I came across a lot of good research, and I found the solution that I was looking for. It wasn't that, it's not that easy to follow what the researchers and doctors have to say to avoid this, to defeat this killer disease. So the first one was I came across the Blue Zone project. What Blue Zone project is, it is the National Geographic project. This project was done under the leadership of Dan Buettner. So what they directed him to do is launch investigation on the healthy living populations. So they identified about 5 of the regions throughout the world where people live longer, 12 years longer than the average population of the world. And not only that, they live healthily. They don't develop these chronic diseases that we have, like diabetes and hypertension and cholesterol and all those things, and some autoimmune conditions. They don't have that. That's rare in those populations. So those are the 5 identified regions of the world where Dan Buettner and his team will have to go and do the research and try to find out what these people are doing, magically, or how they are living so that they are avoiding these diseases. Those 5 regions are, first of all, first region is in California. It's called Loma Linda, California. People in that region tends to live 12 years live 12 years longer than average US population, and also healthily, not develop those diseases. The second one is Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica. Same thing. There was a significant, I mean, people have higher longevity there. Third one is Icaria, Greece. Fourth one is Sardinia, Italy. And the last one is Okinawa, Japan. So these 5 regions of the world, people live longer and does not develop chronic diseases that we have in Western world and India and some certain countries. That's just amazing. So I read Dan Buechner's book, and what they found is they went there. It was 10 years long project. They went to this 5 locations and started asking them people over there. They started researchers started asking them a bunch of questions and try to figure out what these people are doing there, that way they're living longer and not having these health issues. Surprisingly, they came, in all 5 regions, they found that these people doesn't try to chase the longevity. It just naturally happens to them. They'll just live longer naturally. The number one cause that they identified in all 5 regions are their diet, which is the whole plant foods. The 90 to 95% diet is whole plant foods. They don't eat the processed food the way we eat here, especially in America and India and in the Western world. They don't. They rarely eat any animal-based product like meat, eggs, dairy, and fish. They do, but very. I mean, that's not the main part of their diet. The 90 to 95% of their diet is whole plant foods, and they mainly grow their fruits and vegetables in their backyard. They nurture their garden, in their backyard. They go outside in the sun, and they cook at home, and they eat those food, home cooked meal. They rarely go out to eat in the restaurants and stuff. So that's a big clue. And there are some other factors too. They have developed a strong social bonding among their friends and family that they live locally, and some other factors too. So those are and they don't have to go to gym and some other places that we have a membership, and when we go, when here we go, we also have some exercise machine, most of us at the home. They don't do all of this. They just move naturally. So their lifestyle is they don't do exercise. The exercise happens to them naturally through their living. So the way they work outdoor and kind of hard work. But the main thing is their diet is different than us. In the Western world. Second research that I came across is Dr. Dean Ornish of San Francisco. Dr. Dean Ornish and his colleagues published a landmark study in the most prestigious medical journal, British Medical Journal, in 1990, July of 1990. It's a randomized control study in which they created a group of two patients of two groups, both having everybody have a heart disease, and they divided them into two groups, and they did just in one group they told them to do the lifestyle changes, and another other group just live as it is, as you're living. So the lifestyle changes that they recommend to the one group is eat more plants, like whole plant foods, and do meditations and do stress management, do exercise, and keep in touch with each other. So like strong social bonding, those 4 factors. And they studied them for a long time, and they found that the group who followed these lifestyle changes has reversed their heart disease, and the other group no significant changes in their heart conditions. So that's a huge. So basically, what they proved in that study is that you can reverse and prevent heart disease through the changes in lifestyle, which is not a rocket science. It's very simple. All you have to do is just manage your stress. We get stress from everybody. Has a different stress trigger in our life. Somebody has finance, somebody has relationship and these, and somebody has work related stress. All we have to do is manage those stress through the meditation, mindfulness, and then mantra chanting, or those kind of stress management techniques, and do half an hour of exercise, jogging or yoga and those kind of things, and eat more plants, no processed food, and those kind of things. And if you do all these things, so the combination of all this, four things will naturally reverse your heart disease. So basically, the heart disease, what they proved is heart disease is lifestyle related disease, which we can reverse with the change in the lifestyle. Another remarkable study that I came across, the book of Dr. Colwell Esselstyn. I read the book called Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. That's such a fascinating book in which the Dr. Colwell Esselstyn just guides his patients and tell us his instructions. According to his instructions in this book, you can 100% reverse your heart disease. Doesn't matter how much severe it is, through just change in your diet, which is again what he's telling his patients to eat is the whole plant food, no processed food, no oil, no added sugar, and those kind of things. Another one is Dr. Michael Gregan. Dr. Michael Gregan, his book is How Not to Die. What he in this book, what he proves that if you take top 15 killer diseases of America, okay, and when you make changes in your diet, you can affect each and every, no matter what disease, top 15 killer disease you have, you can either reverse or significantly reduce the effects of those disease, which is a huge, so and his website called nutritionfacts.org is loaded with such information, in which what he does is he brings those randomized control study out of medical journals and present it to the common people like you and me, so that we can understand. He creates a short 5-minute videos in which he explains us, like as example, one of his video on turmeric, how turmeric can help us. Regular uses of turmeric in our diet helps us to prevent the colon cancer and increase our athletic performance and all those kind of things. This is just an example. He has thousands of video on those food items, each and every food items, how they affect us, how they improve our health through this randomized control study. Another one is PCRM. It's called Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine. Dr. Neil Bernard, he has pioneered the reversal of diabetes. Diabetes is such a chronic disease that we spend one in every $5 spent on healthcare in America is for diabetes, type 2 diabetes management. So 20% of our healthcare dollar goes to the management of just type 2 diabetes. That's how severe it is. He has developed his program, his book called Diabetes Reversal, in which he advises his patients again to stop consuming oil and eat whole plant foods, no processed food, no dairy, no meat, no eggs, no animal based product. And his success rate in his clinical practice is 80%. So basically, if 100 patients come with the type 2 diabetes in his office of Dr. Neil Bernard, 80 of them get diabetes reversal completely. That's just unbelievable. I never heard anyone who is on the diabetes medications and and then on the insulin reverses uh, the diabetes completely. Once you're once you're diagnosed, your rest of the life you have to stay on those medications. I know I've seen that very closely with my dad. He is initially he was on metformin, and then he was on insulin, and his diabetes went above 500 in spite of having the highest dose of insulin. But with the Dr. Neil Bernard's protocol, 80% of his patients completely goes off the medications, and they don't need insulin. Recently, I've shared a story of Eric Adams, who is a mayor of New York City. Currently, he just got elected 3 months ago as a mayor of New York City. He was a diabetic. He was severe diabetic. His A1C was 17.5. So he was like severe diabetic patient. And if you ask any doctor or healthcare provider what is A1C number of 17.5 means, that means he'll say, well, he's going to lose his eyesight. He lost his eyesight. Once you are diabetic for a longer time, you started losing your eyesight. You start feeling numbness on your leg, and leg amputation, and all those kind of things happen. So basically, he was started losing his eyesight. And one day he Google searched how to reverse and prevent diabetes, and he came across this Dr. Neil Bernard's clinic and his research, and so he started immediately followed it. After following for more than a year, his A1C dropped from 17.5 to 5.6, 5.7, which is no diabetic. So completely he reversed his diabetes. Okay, he looks gorgeous. He looks so healthy. He lost his excess weight. It's like magic. Magic happened with him. Doctor took him off all the medications. Now, I don't know why we don't hear this kind of stories. But this is what happening. This is just one story, but these are this is happening left and right at Dr. Neil Bernard's office. Another book that I read was the China study by Dr. Colleen Campbell. What Dr. Colleen Campbell and his team did in China. They were hired by the Chinese government to do a study on China because some of the parts in China population have a lot of diseases like chronic conditions like the Western world have like heart conditions and those kind of things. And in rural China, if you go, rarely somebody have cancer, somebody have diabetes. So there is a clear distinction between the populations of rural China and urban China. Urban China, again, their lifestyle, their food habit was like Western world. Their diet is mostly animal based, versus in rural China, mostly their diet was plant predominant diet, and they don't develop those diseases. So this is such a remark. So he brought this results of this his research in China to here, try to convey the message to the US government. Didn't go anywhere. And he wrote a book called China Study, in which he explains how any consumption of animal-based product ruins our life. So basically, when you look at this research after the research, every experts and every research points in the same direction. What it is if we want to avoid and reverse those chronic conditions, we have to go away. We have to start reducing the consumption of animal-based product, processed food from our diet, which is remarkable. I saw some of the documentaries on Netflix. First of all is Forks Over Knives. Same thing. There are about 10 experts trying to present a case how you can reverse this, chronic conditions through diet and lifestyle changes. Another one is the documentary called What the Health. Same thing. Third one is The Game Changers by James Cameron. James Cameron is the world's number one Canadian producer. He recently made a documentary called The Game Changers, in which he presents a case that we have since long time we have believed that if you're an athlete, if you want to increase your athletic performance, you have to consume more animal-based product, more you have to drink. You have to take high protein shakes and this and that. But that myth has been busted in this documentary by presenting, by showing the research. In fact, not if athlete is consumes animal-based product, and if he goes vegan, or vegan, I guess vegan is the very wrong word to use, but if the athlete adopts a whole plant food diet, his performance increases. So it's so nowadays it's a new trend in the athletic world is to adopt the whole plant food diet to increase to improve the athletic performance. So as example, Venus Williams, Serena Williams, they benefited greatly from this diet. The world's number one tennis, the tennis player, Serbian tennis player Djokovic, is 100% plant-based diet. In fact, he has a video on YouTube. He shows in 5-minute video how this change in his diet made him number one player of the world. We had Virat Kohli, he was plant predominant diet. We have Tom Brady. Tom Brady is not 100% plant-based, but his diet is 90% of the plant-based, and we all know how he plays. So this is a kind of, it's not just a trend. It's not like it is highly backed by the research, and people, the athletes are benefiting of that, from that. So that's what the main point of this documentary called The Game Changers. And lastly, what I looked at is it's called the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. So what it is American College of Lifestyle Medicine it's like a course design for the healthcare providers. So let's example, cardiologist or your doctor or your registered nurse or those who are in the healthcare profession, like nutritionist, take this certification. It's called the certification of American College of Lifestyle Medicine. What it is mainly if we go to our doctors and healthcare provider, it's diagnosis and treatment. But what this course teaches them is to prevention and reversal through the diet and lifestyle changes. So this particular course has 6 pillars. First one is whole plant food. So basically this course teaches them how recommending this whole plant food diet to their patients. Patients can improve their health and stuff. Second one is importance of exercise in our life. So basically they get to learn how what are the different type of exercise, like yoga and tai chi and cardiac and weight and this and that, how the patients can be, if the patients do, how they benefit from that. And then stress management technique, like mindfulness, meditation, and then mantra chanting and all those things. And the sleep, sleep makes a huge impact on our health. If we do everything right, but if we don't sleep good, that's not good. So sleep is the 4th pillar of the lifestyle medicine. Then the 5th one is number of addictive substances that we use in our life. Like as example, somebody drinks 10 cups of coffee. Coffee is good, 1 or 2 cups is good. If we drink like 10 cups of coffee, we're addicted. It's going to start harming us more than helping us. Same alcohol. No amount of alcohol is good for our health. Tobacco, no use of tobacco is good for our health. If we do everything else, and if we just use tobacco, it's not good. And the last one is the 6th one is love and support in our life. We are social creature. We want to engage into the meaningful relationship. It's not like you want to know a lot more people, and that way you are socially rich. It doesn't matter you have less contacts or less relationship, but the thing is you want to you want to kind of develop the deeper relationship, in which you can share your all good and bad both. You don't want to just most of the time what we do is we share our good stories with our friends and family, but very few friends we have, and relationships we have in which we can even share our bad days and bad stories, and we go for them for the any guidance and those kind of things. So those meaningful relationships that we develop in our life is very very good. So those are the 6 pillars of lifestyle. If we work every day on those on the 6 pillars, we improve our life tenfold. So basically those are the 6 pillars that we see probably on the screens. Lifestyle medicine focuses on 6 areas to improve the health. So now let me try to explain how I was on the quest. I started my journey on the quest to defeat world's #1 killer, which is the heart disease, because I knew it's coming. It happened. This killer has took my family members, and that's what happens left and right. Every 36 seconds, somebody is being killed by the heart disease in America. And my quest was, I don't want to be victimized by become a victim of this heart disease. So that was my quest. I actually found it, through these researches, and now how I applied. So like 4 years ago, I was like, I'm foodie. I was addicted to food, to like most of us. That's how we all are. We never ask the question, okay, okay, I'm hungry. What is my healthiest choices right now? That I can eat. We always ask the wrong question. Okay, I'm healthy. What is the most most tasteful food right now that I can consume? I remember I used to tell my wife, and I was coming from my hotel in the evening, hey, what did you make? And she said, oh, I'm making pizza. Make sure, I always tell her, make sure you put extra cheese on my pizza. That's how I was. So, and unfortunately, the junk food we like more, to eat. The healthy, like if somebody gives you the bowl of salad, we thought, okay, so that's how I was. But anyway, first I targeted the dairy products. So I got rid of the, dairy products, lost about 10 pounds, started feeling good. It was hard. The cheese was the hardest. And then slowly I targeted the junk food, manufactured food. So if you go to any grocery store, most of the time 90% of the food is packaged and manufactured. So I started avoiding those kind of foods. Then luckily I wasn't eating eggs and meat and those kind of things, so it wasn't for me anyway. And then processed carbs, like a white powdery substance that's called processed carbs. So anything we kind of grind and make a powder, it becomes processed carb. And what happens is when we consume, like as example, if we eat like a roti of wheat roti, because we first powdered the wheat, and then we made a roti out of it and we eat it. So our body recognizes it differently because it's been powdered. So it's like a sugar. You ate bunch of candy, so our body recognizes a candy, sugar. So the powdery, our body, when we consume inside in our body, it becomes pure sugar. So consuming the whole grains with fruits and vegetables is different than consuming the powdered grains. But anyway, then I stopped eating wheat products, because the gluten is controversial anyway, and I had autoimmune conditions called Vitiligo. So I try to went one more step further, eliminated gluten from the diet, and I started losing weight, started feeling more energetic inside. So whatever the research was, the researchers was presenting was becoming true in my personal experience also. And also at the same time, I did some research of Dr. Walter Longo and Dr. Sachin Panda on intermittent fasting and the effects of fasting in our health. So the fasting was like healing. So each time you go on fast, whether it's a 12 hours, 16 hours, or 1 day fast, 2 day fast, our body goes into the repair mechanism at the cellular level of our body. The repair mechanism starts. It's called autophagy. Autophagy is like a self-cleaning of our dead cells in the body, and also repair of the damaged cells of our body. So that's how powerful is fasting. So currently I do intermittent fasting every single day. So fasting shouldn't be like, okay, once a month or once a week or so. It has to be the daily regimen. I made it intermittent fasting. I do it every single day, at least for 16 hours. So as an example, I eat 8 hours and go on fasting for 16 hours, every single day. And this is unbelievable. This is good. I never have to juggle with my weight or anything like that. It's just uh, it's perfect for my weight management as well as my health. And I put brisk. I enjoy brisk walk. Since last 1 year hardly missed any single day of those brisk walk of at least 45 minutes a day. And basically, so I started working on all 6 pillars that I just presented, and felt good. And my health parameters were like my blood pressure came down. This morning I measured my blood pressure. It's 111/75. Used to be when I started on this journey. Used to be about 130, 135, sometimes 140. Upper was a problem. But when you're young, you kind of I mean, I was in denial mode. I don't want to take medications. Also, I'm like, okay, well, it's just slightly elevated. No, but it was elevated. Okay, but today, after 5 years, I would say 4.5 years, no more blood pressure. My A1C is completely normal. Last time I was checked 3 months ago, it was 5.6. Anything above 5.6 is called pre-diabetic. I was always, whenever, my doctor used to check my A1C, it's like 6.2, 6.3, and those 6.7, those kind of things. No more. The peak weight I had, I remember, was 217 pounds. I reached up at 217 pounds. Since last 4 months, I'm constantly at 170. So I lost about just less. I mean, about 45 pounds of weight, and no yo-yo, no more yo-yo. It's constantly at the same time. So my quest was to defeat this chronic conditions, diabetes and blood pressure and all those things. But as a bonus, what I got is shredded off the excess weight. And another bonus I got is like I also had developed this rare skin condition called vitiligo. You can see the white patches on my head. It has been reduced by 60% on my body. So it's still work in progress, but I'm very, very happy with the result. 60% of these white patches are gone, and there's no medications for these conditions. And this is all happened because the changes in diet and lifestyle. What I came across the research, what I read, and what I applied, I got 100% results. And without all these things happened without medications. Now this is not just one story. There are stories left and right. If you go on Forks Over Knives website, and if you just even Google Forks Over Knives success stories, you will see bunch of stories like people like me who make changes in the diet, see the reversal on their chronic conditions, like you name it. I've read most of the stories. Somebody I know that somebody has eliminated dementia and Alzheimer, reversed dementia, Alzheimer, severe arthritis. So it's like joint pains. Those has been reversed on the whole plant foods. Asthma has been reversed on whole plant foods. 60% reduction on cancer cases. There are a lot of stories of cancer reversal on Forks Over Knives website. Ulcerative colitis, it's been reversed. There are folks. There's so many cases of reversal of ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel syndrome. It's like disease of intestine. Th- those has been reversed. Eating disorders has been reversed. Obesity and for the obesity and weight management, this is perfect. Autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis, lupus, celiac disease has been reversed. I mean, I'm not talking about the management of this disease, reversal, complete reversal, people getting off of all those medications. And if you ask any doctors and healthcare providers, autoimmune conditions are the most difficult conditions to treat. But that has been, successfully reversed. My skin condition is also called vitiligo. It's called autoimmune conditions where, your immunity wrongfully attack your body parts. So in my case, my own immunity attacks the pigment cells of my skin. That's why those areas the pigments are gone, and you see the white patches. But like I said, 60% reversal, this is a medical miracle. And I feel like, I'm benefited with this research applied in my life. Why should I just shut my mouth off? I should be, share this story with my friends and family and community. And at least this is my moral duty, because people are suffering left and right, because of these diseases. So I just want to do the things ethically right. Just share the story. If anyone do it or not do it, that's their choice, but my obligation is over. I'm just telling, I am doing at least my part. Also, let me tell you the story of one of my friends. His name is Mike Jal. I believe he's on the call too. He is a hotelier. He has a quality in hotel in Devonport. About 5 or 6 years ago, he was diagnosed. He was a foodie like me. He was overweight. He loved food. At the age of 37, he had same thing. Chest pain. Went to his doctor. Doctor recommended to have him go through the bypass surgery, and he had multiple, coronary clogged arteries were arteries were clogged. He had a stable angina, pain in the chest. Doctor recommend him go through the bypass surgery, but he's a kind of friend who would be afraid of those bypass. He doesn't want his chest cut open and do perform bypass surgery on him. So luckily his sister called him, and he recommended him to at least consult Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn of Cleveland Clinic. He's the same doctor that I earlier described. He wrote the book called Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. So Mike has sent him Dr. Esselstyn an email. Dr. Esselstyn luckily called him next day, chatted with him over the phone, and explained him and his wife need to come down there at his clinic and go through the 6 hour of training, mainly the diet related. And also immediately he advised him to adopt the whole plant food lifestyle. Then they need to cook everything at home. Go to grocery store, buy fresh fruits and vegetables, bring at home, cook at home without any oil. That's harsh. If you tell anybody to eat without oil, that's very, very harsh. But Mike was in the do and die situation. He did it, and after couple of weeks, his angina was gone, and after a year, he was completely, his heart functioning completely like a normal person. So he was no more heart patient. He lost 60 pounds. He's completely changed his life. He's on the same diet till today. I just spoke to him today, just to Mike, just to get authorization to tell his story on this event. And he okayed it. And I said, "Are you on the same diet, Mike?" And he said, "Yes." Okay, so this is a living proof. Mike also said that he is happy to share his wisdoms. Mike, do you want to say a couple of minutes? Say something. Mike, are you there? I think you need to unmute your mic, Mike. Okay, no problem. He is not connected to Mike, but anyway, he is open to share his story with anybody. So basically, he defeated the number one killer using this lifestyle as a medicine. He's working on this, 6 pillars every single day. Kudos to Mike. Thank you, Mike. You're a good, big inspiration. Now, if we look at the COVID, couple of things left. If we look at the COVID, now most of us recovered even before vaccination. Most of us recovered, but 5% of the patients got developed as severe conditions due to the COVID and hospitalized. It's not just because of the COVID; it's because of the comorbidities, pre-existing conditions, and then COVID. So the combination of pre-existing conditions like obesity and overweight and hypertension and diabetes, and then if you already have those conditions, and if you if you get COVID, you end up in the hospital, you become severe cases, and your probability of losing life becomes higher, versus if somebody who doesn't have any pre-existing conditions is completely healthy, his BMI is under 25, guess most of us has recovered from COVID. So again, not just COVID took the life, COVID and this pre-existing chronic conditions that we are talking about, that we can easily reverse it through changes in lifestyle and diet. And this lifestyle is not just good for our health, it's perfect example of the win-win situation. It is ethical. So we don't have to kill any animal to feed ourselves. It is like we are telling animal, my taste of the food is more important than your life. So ethically and morally also, this is more responsible to eat, adopt the whole plant food, diet. And if you ask any environmentalist, that number one cause of environmental destruction is the wrong diet. It's not the most of us feel like transportation is the carbon emission of the transportation is the number one cause of the pollution, but it's not. Our food. And so eating this way makes our environmental footprint zero. And live this world, we can, if we adopt this lifestyle, we can live this world more livable for our future generations. So this is a perfect scenario of the win-win situation from the environmental point of view, from the ethical point of view, also the health point of view, which we already looked into that. And lastly, I'd like to end my session with one thing. If any pharmaceutical company develop the pill that guarantees you 80% reduction and prevention and reversible of these chronic conditions, that would be the most most expensive pill of the world, and people will line up to take that pill that guarantees 80% of reduction and prevention of the chronic conditions. One pill, one magic pill, that could be the most expensive thing, and people would line up to get that pill. Guess what? I just gave you that pill. It's not, unfortunately, it's not a shortcut like that we pop the pill and we should find. We have to earn this pill every single day by working on those 6 areas of the lifestyle, like whole plant food, becoming physically active, managing our stress, developing meaningful, deeper relationship, sleep better, and avoid the risky substances like tobacco, alcohol, and marijuana, and who knows, those kind of things. So I just gave you this pill. Start earning whenever you decide. Choice is yours. You can take this pill every day or leave it on the table. Choice is yours. I fulfilled my obligation. What I knew. This is open. I don't want to keep that secret for me. I just told you what I did and what I benefit. Now choice is yours to take this pill. You take it or leave it on the table. Good luck. Thank you, friends and family.
Hey, thanks, Roshan. So there are few questions coming up, so I will go and then I would want you to answer those questions. The first one is, how did you approach getting support from your family to make a significant lifestyle change? Right, you like you said, a whole plant food needs to adapt. So how do you approach your family
Well,
to get their support?
I think this is a better question for my wife, but I'll answer it. This I think she can explain this better, but it's not that easy journey. Okay, but she was cooperative, but at the same time, it's not that easy too. Because guess what? We we have did from our childhood. This kind of lifestyle we did. So from our childhood, and first of all, forget about my family. It was hard for me, for when I saw the research on the dairy, how dairy damages our health. For 1 month I was in denial. No, it must be not, this is not true or something like that. So it's if it's tough for me to adopt that, of course. So we had some ups and downs about that, but luckily my whole family with on board with me. It was a challenge. It's not that easy. That's a right question. I mean, this is but it's been now 4 years. Initially it was a lot of struggle. But now I think they understand too. They also benefited from them, so everybody is on board now. But it's not that easy.
Okay, the next question we have is, how long have you been doing the intermittent fasting?
Oh, this is new. Okay, so with the intermittent fasting I studied in last about 6 months. So I'm doing this, I would say 4 months, 4 months now. But anything I make changes in my lifestyle, I'm like, this is forever. This is not like I do for a month or 2 weeks or something like that. This is forever. So when I started 4 years ago, I quit dairy. 4 years, okay, no dairy. So this is since I'm doing intermittent fasting since last 4 months, every single day, and this is going to be the rest of the life. So there's no compromise there.
Yep, thanks, Roshan. So the next one is, can we have a tea while we are on fasting?
Yeah, I guess drinking tea is not a problem. And this is tea is in fact, I was talking to my sister this morning. She's in Dallas. She said, brother, I can do anything, but I have to have a tea in the morning. I'm like, okay, you can have a tea, but try to cheat yourself. You can make a tea, but try to reduce the amount of milk that you put in that. Add more water, and those kind of things. So sometimes you have to you have to have a slow approach. I mean, after all, we are all human beings too. We don't want to feel like we're in the jail and we are not getting the things that we want and stuff like that. So softly but surely, but slowly. But it's doable.
Okay. The next question we have is, how will you get calcium without dairy products?
Yeah, that's the biggest myth. My counter question is, ask elephant, how does elephant get calcium from? Any elephant has 20 times more bones than us. He doesn't try to get calcium from other species milk. So he's vegan completely, on leaves and grass and those stuff. If he can get the calcium, why can't we? This is the biggest myth. Think when it comes to the milk and milk product. This is the biggest myth. Like, think about that. We are the only species in this world who drink milk of other species. There's so many species in this world. I mean, thousands and thousands of species. We are the only species in this world who drink milk of other species. Think about that, just on that part. And usually the mother nature's creation is, the mother's milk is for their babies in infancy, not throughout the whole life consumption. And we are the humans do that with other species in our also in our adulthood, till we die. We consume the milk of other species. Such a gross idea. I mean, it's just planted in our thoughts. So I'm since last four years, I didn't have a drop of milk. I'm perfectly. I'm not feel like I'm breaking my bone, or So it's just myth. I mean, yeah, and you get plenty of calcium from green leafy vegetables. Like the number one source of the calcium is sesame seeds. You know, so and this is and not only calcium. When you think about the calcium, calcium is important, but at the same time, what research says is vitamin D is also very important. So, like as example, if you're vitamin D deficient, if you're vitamin D deficient, and if you consume a lot of calcium, still your body is not going to absorb those calcium without vitamin D. So the combination, you have to have a good amount of vitamin D in your body and the calcium, so that your body absorbs it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, next question is about like, what is the natural or better options for protein without meat products or slash chicken?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so the protein is the second question. So this myth has been busted by the James Cameron's documentary. What the hell? The Game Changers. Okay, so basically, think about these blue zones. Blue zones that we just discussed, 5 area of the world where they're not hardly consuming any animal-based product, and they're thriving. They're living longer, and they're. I mean, not only that, they're living 12 years longer than the average population of the world. Plus, they're not developing any diseases. So if those people can get protein, enough protein on those, why can't we? I never, in last 4 years of my journey, I never thought, where am I going to get protein from? This is another myth. So our green leafy vegetables are full of protein. Our legumes, like beans and those are full of proteins. So you never have to think about that. It's just another myth. I mean, like a calcium. And if somebody really wants the answer of that question, I highly recommend watch that documentary, The Game Changers, on Netflix.
Okay. The next one we have for you is 8 to 16 hours of fasting won't let you get ulcers in your stomach and body.
In fact, it counters those kind of things, the ulcers or whatever. Think about that. Okay, so like as example, we never let our body go on. I mean, at least our digestive system go on rest. Like if I tell you what I used to eat 4 years ago, I first, when I wake up, first come down from the bedroom, go in the kitchen, take a glass of milk, and make a tea or coffee. I add bunch of sugar in it and just drink it. That's how I start my day. And how I end my day, in the evening when we were watching TV with my family, oh, can you bring something? I mean, ice cream or something. So basically, from morning to evening, like from start to the end of the day, I used to eat. Only used to give 8 hours of rest to the body. 16 hours my digestive system is working. And each time you put food process, the whole system has to kick on, and it has to be. So basically, our digestive system is constantly on roller coaster. So basically, what we have to do, instead of eating for 16 hours a day and giving only 8 hours of rest to our digestive system while we are only asleep, we have to reverse it. We have to give, we eat in 8 hours of window. Sometimes I only do one meal a day. And when you give longer rest to your body, when you go into the deeper research of fasting, your body goes into the healing mode. Repair starts when you because when you have a food in your system, your body has to focus on digesting those food. But when those part is done, body can go into the healing mode, repair mechanism. So this is also the ulcer or whatever is also going to be healed. So it's like it's a It's fasting is unbelievable. Once you do it, you'll see the more energy in your body, and so you gotta do it. Just try it. At least, I mean, if you are diabetic or something, you have to do under the observation of your doctor or healthcare provider. But if perfectly healthy person, you are not having any health issues, 16 days is good to do. I mean, no problem.
I, if I may add to this, a few years back, a Japanese doctor had received Nobel Prize based on the same theory. And right now, David Sinclair, he's a Harvard professor on aging. He has been proponent of the same idea of intermittent fasting for, fasting, having one meal a day. But you can have liquids. But these things, I don't know. I just feel that, well, Roshan, you have tried it for so long, but I'm a little apprehensive. My husband has tried it. And sometimes I feel that initially he was little, it was difficult for him, but gradually he became used to it.
Yeah. So basically, see, again, this is a lifestyle related changes. Okay, so when you do any changes in your lifestyle, it is challenging initially, mentally, as well as our body also need to get used to. It takes a little bit time to get used to, but once you're used to into that, definitely you benefit from that. But another thing is, when you do the intermittent fasting, another thing we have to keep in mind that whatever we eat in 8 hours of window, we can't indulge into the unhealthy food. So it is a combination of the healthy food and the intermittent fasting. That's when the magic happens. Otherwise, the combination of the junk food and the intermittent fasting is not going to take you anywhere also. So we have to keep in mind both. First of all, our biggest enemy, especially in America, in Western country, is the junk food. Forget about animal based product and plant based. The junk food, manufactured food, should be kept, kept away from our home, from our family. That is the biggest killer, of humanity. And then you talk about the plant food and reducing animal based product. And what I tell my friends and family is, you doesn't have to do what I do. I do it 100%. I never consume any animal based product. You don't have to do it. You can still indulge into here and there. That's not a problem. The predominantly, the majority of the time, you want to eat the whole plant food. That's when the magic happens. There any diet that you look into deeper, there is no diet that says you don't will not benefited from vegetables and those kind of things. So healthy, like a vegetables, fruits, and those is a part of any diet.
Hey, thanks Roshan, and thanks Anjana for adding few more insights to that question. The next one is what about supplements for vitamin D and calcium? Can we prefer supplements?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. Okay, so only vitamin that I take is vitamin D. Depends on what part of the world you live in. So basically the main source of vitamin D is sunlight. We need to expose ourselves into the sun. Vitamin D that we get into the whole milk. The vitamin D that doesn't come in the milk. It's fortified. So it's added into that. So it's basically vitamin D is added into the milk, and they market as a vitamin D. That's not the right source. That's a source of vitamin D, but if somebody really want to get a vitamin D, it's sun exposure. But here in Midwest, like as I right now, we take 5,000 IU of vitamin D, vegan vitamin D, and then that's every single day. Four of us, everybody takes that. Kids 2,000, we take 5,000 IU, and once a week we take 2,500 microgram of B12, because if you have a B12 deficiency, there are a lot of weird thing can happen into your body. So B12 and D3 D3 every day, B12 once a week, and the last thing we take is EPA DHA. It's like a vegan version of fish oil, that we take every single day, me and my wife. basically that take, because it's kind of it prevents dementia kind of things, your brain disease, and it's good for your heart too, so we take those three. But other than that, those multivitamin, one a day vitamin, that's a processed junk. That's the vitamins extracted from the plants and packaged into the pill, and they're telling us to take it. That's this multivitamin is linked with the overweight and all those things. So multivitamin is junk. The best multivitamin is fruits and vegetables.
Okay. So let's take a couple more before we close our session.
So the process that I was talking, I remember the name is called autophagy.
Mm-hmm.
So he had won the Nobel laureate for this.
Yep. That's Japanese, I believe Japanese researcher, and he got Nobel in 2016 for his research.
Yes, 2020.
Yep. So basically, autophagy is, in the simple language, it's a repair mechanism. It's a repair at the cellular level, and that only happens when we go on the fasting. In fact, fasting is such an interesting subject. There's a institution in California. It's called True North. Okay, led by Doctor, I forgot his name. But anyway, there's a True North kind of hospital kind of settings where, if you have any chronic conditions like severe pain, arthritis, any autoimmune conditions, you name it, any chronic disease, heart disease, something, you go there, you admit yourself there, and the doctors and providers will monitor you. You go on the longer fast, like up to, they put you on the fast up to 40 days, depending on they assess your situation, they diagnose you, and then they recommend, okay, you need to go on 1 week of fast, 2 weeks of fast. But up to 40 days of fasting, but they 90% of the time they reverse the entire condition, the health condition in that period. That's such a remarkable clinic, where you go on the longer, by the way, water only fast. So they will monitor all your parameters. It will be under the observations of doctors and healthcare providers, but they'll only give you water. And once your condition is reversed, they also kind of put you on the reversal diet. Slowly they will add diet on you, that, and then once you're about to release from that facility, they will teach them what to eat further, so that make sure you do not end up there again with the same conditions or some other conditions, which is whole plant foods. So they, at the end of their fasting period, they teach their patients what to eat, and what not to eat, which is again same thing, whole plant food, just in order to prevent and reverse those diseases.
Sanjana, you have your hand raised over there. Do you?
Yeah, so for past 20 years, they have been doing a research in Harvard about Jainism as well as Buddhists. As you are saying, giving just surviving on water. It's again the same concept. And I'm glad you are talking about all this. It's difficult, but yes, there is a whole school of thought that they believe it changes your life.
Yeah.
So one of my friends last month attended a retreat, Vipassana retreat, where she was just on water. So if she told me that first week was a little difficult. After that, it becomes, your body gets used to it. But I worry that you are not getting all your nutrients, as you said, like main. I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian throughout my life. I guess when you are young, you are getting enough from your fruits and vegetables, but there can be some times when your body doesn't absorb all the nutrients, and they need assistance, like calcium and vitamin D go together.
Yeah.
Your calcium you cannot absorb calcium till you have have enough vitamin D.
Yes,
And
exactly. Yeah, I think you have to have enough vitamin D in order to absorb the calcium, from your body. You're right. You're right. So you're saying that sometimes you have to supplement yourself with the calcium. Is that you're saying?
yes,
Yeah, yeah. So another problem that could come with the calcium is, uh, the calcification of your arteries. So the calcium is highly linked with the atherosclerosis in your blood vessels. So you have to be careful with the supplementing yourself with so most of the times not enough calcium is not a problem. The absorption is the real problem, and that's highly linked to vitamin D. So if you correct your vitamin D level in your blood level, and eat like vegetables, I mean vegetables and stuff, it's you have enough I think the way I read the literatures and all those things shouldn't have a problem. Most of the time with the vitamins and nutrients and stuff, it's not that we are not consuming enough. It's absorption is the most of the time is the issue. Most of the times those are being released, flushed away from the body because of the lack of absorptions. If we have some digestive issue and some lot more other things, you know and one thing I didn't touch, today's talk is gut microbiome. In the last 10 years, the theory of gut microbiome is a huge. So basically, we till today we thought, we are what we eat, but we are not just what we eat, but what we are, you know, what we eat and what they eat. Who is they? Who are they? Those are the gut microbiome. Mainly, they live in our larger intestines. So the kind of bacteria and fungus and the viruses, some of the viruses that lives in our large intestine. Okay, they are highly dependent on their diversity, and their population is highly dependent on kind of food that we eat. So, like as example, their main food. So there are good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. So the good bacteria, their main food is fiber. Fiber from our food, which is the soluble fiber and non-soluble fiber. Okay, so if we want to increase the population of those bacteria, that kind of helps us in such a way that, like as example, if they eat fiber from our diet, and whatever the enzymes and the other chemicals that they releases, they help build our immunity. So basically we feed them and they feed us back. So we are like a whole ecosystem. We are not just, like as example, if somebody asks me, okay, who are you? I say Roshan, whatever. Okay, I'm not just Roshan. Okay, I'm Roshan plus Roshan, who made of 1 trillion body cells and the 10 trillion microorganisms that lives in my body, on my skin, from mouth to the all the way to my whole digestive system. So I'm a Roshan made up of 10 1 trillion cells and 10 trillion bacteria, 10 times uh, 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 bacteria and other organisms that live in my body. So I'm a whole ecosystem. I'm not just me. So if somebody sterile me, or if somebody removes all the bacteria from my system, I would not survive, because again, I'm an ecosystem. I need them and they need us. And kind of bacteria that grows in your large intestine, that depends on the kind of diet that we eat. The bacteria is highly linked to kind of immune system that we develop, and the leaky gut syndrome and those kind of things. So basically that's whole another chapter that's very big. So basically, when you have bacterial imbalances, they call it a gut dysbiosis. So you have a more bad bacteria than the good bacteria, and then you have you started developing bunch of health related issues. That's very, very complex. The research is still ongoing. It's not conclusive. It's a new field in the medical system right now.
guys, we'll take a question over here. Milk, ghee, yogurt are part of Indian Hindu diet for millenniums. Even we know our gods and incarnations like Krishna are very closely associated with these dairy products. We always thought that milk was good for humans and at least never thought to question our ancestors' wisdom. I struggle a little bit here. Did you go through the same thought process?
Yes, initially, from religious point, Krishna, like, the guy and ghee and milk and so. But if you read that at that time, the whole scenario was different. The Krishna's philosophy was to nurture them. That his main goal is to nurture the guys and stuff. It's not like milking them and we feed ourselves. That's not the goal of the Krishna. In the Hinduism, so basically Krishna, we didn't use the guy and cow for our selfish purpose. Krishna really wants us to nurture those guys, but look at what happens today when we go to any grocery store, open that glass door and pick up that milk, gallon of milk. A lot of bad thing happened behind the door. This is completely commercialization, and we are not taking care of their lives. We put them into shelter just to fulfill our selfish motive, so the purpose was completely different, at that time with the Krishna and right now. Of course, I challenged it. Like as an example, ghee. Okay, when I engage, when I start this conversation with most of my Indian friends, but what about ghee? Everything. I mean, but ghee is good, always good for your joints and this and that. Yeah, you're right. But so the story of the ghee, when you go into the history of the ghee, the Veds. So it's like a so-called doctor in that time. It's called Veds. We're giving ghee to these patients. If some patients come and he can hardly walk and he's like he doesn't have any energy or he's so at that time the Vaid used to give him a little bit ghee as a energy. So it wasn't in the day-to-day use of in fact the milk and milk product historically is so expensive. It's not that easy to afford for any common people to get access of those things. Those are expensive, and so the ghee was only the at that time so-called Dr. Veda used to give to the weak patients, But then somewhere along the line today, it's like ghee. Okay, well, okay, just try it. I would say, and it has nothing to do with the joints. I'm telling you, in fact, it creates more inflammation in your body than greasing or oiling your joints and stuff. So it counter effects.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Continuing to previous question about yogurt. So the question is, yogurt is probiotic, which makes a lot of good for body. What is the better alternative suggestion for this if we stop dairy products?
Yeah, so like as it says probiotic. Yep, probiotic means what? The theory of gut microbiome that I just said. Like we carry about 10 trillion microbiomes in our body. So by consuming yogurt, you kind of increase the microbiome in your body. Increasing microbiome is not a problem, but the keeping them, make sure they survive. It's not that we want to consume more microbiomes through yogurt or these or that, but the problem is whatever the microbiome we have, we want to nurture them. If we don't eat the right amount of food, even though if you take eat yogurt or kimchi or there are other sources of probiotics too, you consume them, but if you don't eat the healthy diet, which is fiber-rich food, which is soluble and non-soluble fiber-rich food, those, guess what? Those bacteria that you consume is going to die. So again, that's not the probiotic. Prebiotic is the problem. Prebiotic is the food for those good bacteria, which is soluble and non-soluble fiber, which comes only exclusively from plants. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds. Any animal product you consume it as a zero fiber, which is a problem for our gut microbiome. That creates a gut dysbiosis in our system, and again you go to, you head towards the different problems. And if somebody really and if you really want to take the probiotic, there are other sources, vegan sources of probiotic, like kimchi, the Korean food, that has a bunch of diverse, microbiomes. Sauerkraut, made of the cabbage, that has a bunch of different, microbiome. Basically, those are the good bacteria. That doesn't mean we have to eat, in order to get the probiotic, we have to eat yogurt. The problem with the yogurt is it has a probiotic, but it also has a saturated fat. It also has a cholesterol and those kind of things. So it's like somebody's telling me, in order to breathe, I need to smoke a cigarette. It's the same thing. So in order to get a probiotic, I need to eat yogurt.
We just have 4 minutes, so Vikram, what are your thoughts? Should we continue or should we wrap up this session?
Yeah, I think we'll just take a last question about, as a summary, can you share the significant changes you have observed through those 4 years
of
a lifestyle?
Wow, that's the amount of energy, that you feel in your body. When your body is vibrant, when you're healthy, you have different feelings. You live. You feel like you want to live a life. When I see in my health parameter changes, I'm losing weight, and I'm at the perfect BMI. This is unbelievable. This is like I'm saying, this is a magic thing can happen to. This is the best thing that have happened to my life, and probably for the rest of my life. Hope I will be on the same lifestyle. And the biggest the changes that I see is in my skin condition, vitiligo. I took medications. I went to the doctor, dermatologist, took medications for this, but in fact there is no medication for that. He already told me that when first time I went with that, he said I have to do biopsy on your skin and hope it's not vitiligo. If it's vitiligo, so basically in a nice language, he said it's not treatable. And he tried some of the things I did. I took it, but it didn't help. Finally, I gave up on that. And on this protocol, whole lifestyle protocol, I reversed it. 60% of. I wish I could have shared my photo with the before and after photo with you, but 60% of this, my skin condition has been reversed. That's a magic, And I'm also a part of the member of the Vitiligo Society. It's a kind of support group where people share idea with each other and stuff like that. And a lot of people become suicidal because of the way they look differently and those kind of things. Luckily that didn't happen with me. Psychological problem didn't happen with me, but I'm seeing reversal. And this is not a reversible disease. Once you develop on your body, it just keeps growing until your whole body is being covered, or you stop somewhere. But the reversal is probably the I would say I saw a couple of other cases on the similar protocol being reversed, but very, very seldom, in this world, So, what can I ask more than that, So it's just thanks to God and, everything, the researchers who did this. I'm just a messenger, okay? By the way, I didn't do any research, anything like that. I just came across those research, read those, applied in my life, and I'm just sharing with my friends and family. Just messenger. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Roshan. On the behalf of Spurthi, I would like to sincere thanks from bottom of our heart for taking your time from your busy schedule and be a guest speaker for today's session. Definitely all your enlightening words are inspired many of us here.
Thank you, friends. Namaste. Namaste, everybody.
And before closing, so I just wanted to take some time to share about the upcoming events. So for the next month, like we have chosen a topic of financial health. So we are conducting again the seminar on 5th March, Saturday. I mean, again, we'll decide about the time. But during that time, our guest speaker is Suresh. So he is planning to cover these topics like importance of asset allocation, the investment strategy for kids education and our own retirement, and then goal-based investment, and the common mistakes which we can avoid. So I believe Suresh is on call. So thanks, Suresh, for again becoming a speaker for our next event. And the last one is, as most of you know, we have a Spurthi Race to Inspire. This year it's on May 15th, Sunday, 9 a.m. I would encourage all of you to sign up for this race, and looking forward to many more events. Thank you. Smita, you want to add anything?
Nope, you've covered very well. Thanks again, Roshan. Thank you, everybody, for those who attended and for the great questions. Really, this was very inspiring and motivational. So let's follow the healthy lifestyle.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roshan.
Thank you, Roshan.
Mhm.